Virginia, a woman who runs a farm was shocked when environmental inspectors came to her house and demanded to search inside all of the house, even closets. This woman is one of the inspectors.
I don't want to get into an argument about this. I'm asking if I can look in the closet as a yes or no question. Is there a reason is there something in it that I can't see? Well, it has to do with individual personal rights and property rights.
Yeah, I would think in America, individuals ought to have those rights. The farmer is Martha Boneta. She's joined here by Marty Kotis, who runs a brewery and restaurants in North Carolina. But then Marty had the nerve to try to sell his own beer at his own restaurants. And state regulators told you, no, you may not?
Yeah, there was actually a prohibition we weren't aware of that said you couldn't own a brewery and a restaurant.
And this is an old Prohibition-era law that they say, oh, this is to protect the customers.
Right. They say it's to protect the public, but it's really to protect the distributors.
And they have friendly relationships with the politicians.
Absolutely. They're one of the largest lobbyists in the nation.
And I noticed that you've taped out something on this bottle here. This is the stuff Pig Pounder?
Pig Pounder, yes.
Sort of an ugly name, but I guess people want it. What are you taping out? What's that about?
So we have on the back this kind of list of the different restaurants. And in North Carolina, that's not allowed on a beer bottle, but if it were a wine bottle, it's allowed.
You've spent $100,000 on lawyers trying to solve this?
And we're not done yet.
Martha, you bought the property that's now your farm from an environmental group, basically.
Correct,
right?
yes.
Explain.
And, you know, it's not unusual in rural areas, families will acquire properties that have agricultural easements on them. And in my case, our family purchased an easement that has an agricultural easement on it, and the environmentalists that hold the easement have become like a government by proxy and have done these very invasive, abusive inspections. They wanted to install 24/7 video surveillance cameras to spy on my family and friends to see what we were doing every day.
Why? You must have made them mad.
You know, what they've done is exceeded their authority. And, you know, when farmers agree to these easements, they don't agree to have their closets inspected, their toilets and bathrooms, to have their laundry photographed, to have their personal private possessions photographed. This particular land trust really has violated and trespassed, and it far exceeded you know, anything that would permit them to do this, because, you know, my question is, what does what's in my closet have to do with the environment or conservation?
It's not just this environmental group. Right. They get cozy with the government.
Exactly.
And the county came in and found you in violation for having a birthday party for 10-year-old girls.
Yes, and, you know, it was my childhood dream to be a farmer, and we worked really hard to get the farm, and I never dreamed in a million years that there would be miles and miles of red tape and regulation. And I had a birthday party for 8 10-year-old little girls, and the next thing I knew, I had a threatening violation from my county that threatened us with $15,000 a day in violations, and that we would need to have a site plan, a special exception permit, an administrative permit, full-blown hearings, in order to, among other things, be able to sell what we produced on the farm, to have a birthday party, or even to carve pumpkins in our pumpkin patch.
Because part of your farm is a tourist attraction. I see you've got emus here. I assume you don't sell emu meat?
No, but we do sell their emu eggs. We have over 285 animals, and, you know, one of the greatest joys of my life has been bringing the public and the community to the farm to experience a small family working farm.
Sheep, ducks, cows, bees. You're a beekeeper.
I'm a beekeeper. We have llamas and alpacas and chickens and sheep and goats.
But you charge money for things.
I do, and you know, being able to sell what you produce on the farm, the fruit of your labor, that goes back since the beginning of time, and it's such an important part of our heritage. And it was just so devastating and heartbreaking to have the county come in and shut us down for doing what farmers have been doing since forever.
3 armed sheriffs showed up?
Yeah, the zoning administrator sent 3 armed sheriffs to interrogate students that were volunteering on our farm. They were learning about animal husbandry, learning about our harvest.
What do you mean to interrogate?
They wanted to know what they were doing on our farm. They collected their names and their phone numbers. I wanted to know where they lived, and asked them a series of questions. And it's it is a private property working farm, and we should be able as a family to have anybody we want to come visit, and if it's students volunteering, what business is that of the government to intervene?
I would think no business, and maybe that's why Martha's story has kind of a happy ending. Some people were outraged enough by what happened to her. One wrote a protest song about how she sold good products until
the day the county came and tried to shut her down. And it's ho, hey, ho, let's strike a blow for freedom.
So pushback from the public did eventually strike a blow for freedom. The Virginia legislature passed a special law making it clear that if the zoning rules allow farming, you're also allowed to make money from your farm.
Absolutely.
So you've won.
Well, it's really hard to be a family farmer, and most family farmers just want to be left alone to work hard and make ends meet and be viable on the land, and this bill gets them a little bit closer to achieving that with little government intervention.
Just a little bit closer doesn't solve the problem?
It doesn't, unfortunately. It really doesn't, because there are still barriers, but it certainly prevents the county from coming in and requiring all kinds of permits and hearings and thousands of dollars in fees.
So you know about this. I now know.
Yes.
Marty, you were surprised when you just made beer and thought, I've got restaurants, I'll sell my beer at my restaurant.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.